Hi, I'm Shan, host of the Broken People podcast. This is your special invitation to join in the Broken People community. Take a break from the hustle and bustle of life and join me the last Saturday of each month as we share in inspiring stories to uplift and grow your mental and spiritual health. And you know we have to do it Jamaican style. None is exempt from joining as we're all broken, just in different ways. On a forward.
See, I was heavily influenced by the old school. There were certain things that you couldn't do in the old school that is frowned upon back in the days that people are just doing willy-nilly nowadays. It's sad out here. See, I came up under the understanding of one fight, we all fight. We stick together. We don't treat the world better than we treat each other. Before you go outside and play, this house better be done. And if we go to this store, you better not touch nothing. You better not ask for nothing. And don't worry, you know the favorite one of all time is you got some McDonald's money. See, influences is crazy because they can benefit you in the best ways or they can benefit you and cause the demise of all ways. So tonight, we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about influences, good, bad, and the ugly. I'll explain that later. Now, I'm going to explain that right now. Let's start the show.
Ever been left speechless by the ridiculousness of modern dating? Or maybe you're more old school. Yeah, like seriously, what were we thinking with those pickup lines in the 90s? This is I'll Explain All This Later, the podcast where we dissect the crazy world of relationships. From dating app disasters to in-law interventions, we'll cover it all. Now, some of our takes might be a little hot, but hey, that's what you get when you press play and tune in. We'll explain the logic behind it all. Eventually. Anyway, let's dive in.
We told y'all that it was going to be some big money going on this season, right? First half, I introduced y'all to some of my favorite people to talk shit with. Now, we stepping it up. We got the big guns popping out. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Big Smash. And in case you don't know now, you know now. My guest tonight, he's a little different. Over 500 and something plus episodes combined. Got a bunch of AKAs. Got a bunch of things going on. He one of the GOATs. See, I can't be just giving out these titles to everybody without them explaining why they are that. So since we on the All Explain All This Later, and this is his first time on this platform, I'm going to let the man, the myth, the legend introduce himself.
What's going on, people, man? It's your boy King Jerm, a.k.a. the People's Champion, a.k.a. the most electrifying motherfucking podcast today, a.k.a. the next door neighbor of Danny Tanner, a.k.a. LeBron Flames, a.k.a. the King of the Lames, a.k.a. Bar Strickland in the building. What's going on, Big Smash? Thank y'all for having me. I'm digging the new digs. Appreciate you inviting me over to the new show. I appreciate it. You know, finally got that bag. Smash is paying people to come on his show now. So once the Cash App went through, King Jerm's in the fucking building, man. How you doing, man? Can we still cuss over here?
Oh, yeah, listen.
Had to know.
We do our thing. We just more civilized.
I got you.
Civilized over here. We can still say motherfucker and all that other good stuff, but it's a dignified saying to it. Now, y'all know what this is, man. The second half is kicking off. We're going to talk about some things tonight. I feel like I got to start getting down to the nitty gritty with what we doing over here. So tonight's episode, we are going to talk about influences. So here we go. The role in the family of friends shaping your relationship, your friendships, your businesses, all of that. Tonight, we're going to discuss how to look past who's influential enough to give you guidance and who isn't. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the person to give good advice when it comes to relationships because my relationships have been so fucked up over the years. So don't come to me for advice because I'm going to tell you, well, I'm a changed person. So I'm going to do my best to give you advice, but I'm not the person to come to for advice because most of the time when women used to come to me for advice, it ended up with us sleeping together. So I'm not a I'm not a good influence, but I have some experiences. I just had this conversation the other day, and she asked me because she listened to the show and she was like, "Do you think you're qualified to give people relationship advice?" And I told her, I said, "Yeah. I've been a side dude. I've been a husband. I got a lot of baby mamas. I've been just smashing on people with no feelings. So yeah, I think I got experience in these things." King Jerm, as a man that's been married for half a century, not half a century.
Let's just say 2 decades.
2 decades. Okay, so we're gonna start off like this. What influenced for you to feel like it was your time to go ahead on and make an honest woman out of Queen Jerm? Like, what was the influence, the impact of that influence that made you make that decision?
Well, I had already said that I was going to marry the woman that had my babies, and I just so happened to luck up and have babies by a wonderful woman. So it was a no-brain situation to me. I was going to make her my wife. So I went ahead and did it. I mean, I had my grandfather and my grandmother, they were together my whole life. They went through thick and thin, ups and downs and all that. So I knew that you just got to stick with it. Said marriage is work. And so I made that commitment to myself. And plus I also said that I wasn't going to have kids, and not be around me every day because I grew up single parent home. My mom was a single parent, but I was raised by my grandparents. So I had the father and the mother in the home, but I was like, I didn't want my kids to go through that. So, and that was another thing that drove my decision to make an honest woman out of her.
Facts. Okay, so influences, I didn't really have those growing up. My mom had been divorced twice. Dad had been divorced twice. So naturally, my mindset was never getting married. Screw this. I'm cool with just getting all the benefits of it. And then as I got older, I started watching all my homies stop being hoes and finding women and settling down and making families and doing big business. And I watched my brother elevate himself out the streets and became this dude who's buying up properties and putting his family on and things like that. And so then it dawned on me like, these are the people I need to be watching. I don't need to be watching these influences that I had. A lot of my homies that I looked up to was in the streets. They had a whole lot of women in and out and in, you know what I'm saying? So I love that shit. Honestly, I loved that shit growing up. Those was the neighborhood superstars. So we loved seeing it. Like, this is what we wanted to be like, not necessarily the way that they were doing it, but for me, when I saw all my homies in the streets fighting and doing frivolous things, because we are in the Lil Durk era right now. But when I saw them doing those things, I wanted to do the opposite. I was about getting women and getting money. They can have that street stuff. And then it got to the point where, man, I got tired of sleeping with other dudes' women. I ain't even gonna lie. I wanted to do something different. So I changed my ways. I settled down with a woman who I thought I was gonna be with forever. And I started letting my ego, I started letting the things that I used to do, I started letting the internet reflect me and turn me on to something that didn't necessarily know how to control. And then it started suffering. So tonight we're going to give advice on how to sort out the right people to influence you. Now, Jerm, you said something that I caught. You said that your grandma and your granddad stuck it through. We're in the era of 2024, man. Who's really sticking it through nowadays?
That's the thing, just because we're in modern times, you can't let that change the relationship because, like I said, relationships have been going on since the beginning of time. So there ain't nothing new. It's just new curveballs that have been thrown at relationships. Like your granddad ain't have to worry about Instagram, you know what I'm saying? But you do. Your grandma ain't have to worry about dating apps, but you do. But how you get the people to stick it through? I mean, if you really love somebody and you want to work at it, you want this thing to work, you're going to have to stick it through. You're going to have to go through the tough times, the ups and downs, somebody losing a job or somebody going through some kind of mental instability, anything. You have to deal with that if you want to be with this person. And a lot of people just give up on love so easily because they feel like it's so readily accessible. They feel like, oh, I'll find a new motherfucker tomorrow. I'll find somebody else. And you might find somebody else. Yeah, but you ain't find that person. That person that you walking away from. Yeah, you might find another woman. You might find another man, but you're not gonna find another that person that you had. So I think another thing, people just act like you said, nobody wants to stick it out. It's easy. It's so easy to walk away, but it's harder to stand in the paint and make it work. Because I'm sure there's times my wife wanted to walk away from me. I'm sure there's been times, and vice versa. But it was something there that we was like, you know what? We ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna throw in the towel. Because it's easy to throw in the towel, but sometimes it's necessary if y'all not growing together or y'all growing apart. What's the point? Because a lot of people stay together for the kids. I didn't want to be that couple to stand together for the kids. I didn't want to do that.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was definitely one of the dudes that stayed together for the kids. I ain't gonna lie. I had what I like to call makeup babies. I was in a vibe where every time I wanted to leave this woman, we had another kid. So it became very hard to get away because we kept feeling like we're going to stick together because we got the kids. So in hindsight, we were our own influence, but everybody around us was figuring out like, y'all really shouldn't be together. And it was like that in every one of my relationships. It got to the point where we knew we wasn't supposed to be together, but because we had the years and the history and the time and the kids, and we don't want to start all over, we stayed in situations that we knew wasn't good for us. When I got married, I didn't listen to nobody. And I think that's where one of my flaws came in, and that's why it was a demise of it, because I didn't listen to nobody. I had already figured out I had all the answers.
You ain't listen to her. That's the main person you should have listened to was her.
Yeah. And you know what? It was scary when it was over with because everybody, the people that I did talk to, I kept fighting for it. And I stopped listening to my single homies, and I stopped listening to people that had never been in deep when it came to a relationship, when it came to love. And I stopped listening to TikTok preachers. And I stopped listening to all of them because, yeah, they're dropping good knowledge, but the knowledge that they're dropping is only it worked for them. It don't necessarily work for them. And me and you, we've had a lot of talks. You're somebody that I leaned on to when it came to marriage and serious things. And it was just like, this is the kind of people that I want to surround myself with. I don't want to surround myself with people who have never really went through it when it came to marriage. I can't ask someone who's never been married about marriage. You know
Hold
what I'm
on,
saying?
but this the internet though. The internet, you can ask people that never had kids about. They can tell you about having babies. The single people can tell you about being married. The people that can't cook can tell you how much seasoning. This the internet now. You don't have to no experience necessary to give an opinion now. Let's not forget.
Nah, see, and that's where it's fucked up at, because grandma's is 25, great grandma's is 32, mama's is 21. It's this entire era has changed. And I think it really isn't any guidance. Everybody is just going off experience and just doing whatever the hell they want to do. I don't really listen to dudes on the internet because I think a lot of times people be making facades and they not really living the life that they live in. Everybody's trying to get that Facebook money, that Instagram
interaction money. They'll say anything for interaction. You gotta look look amongst our podcast community. We know a lot of these podcast niggas be saying one thing on their show, but in their real life they be living a whole different life. So don't believe these podcasts. They talking to the people, telling them what you want to hear. That's all it is. They chasing. Oh, last time I was on the show, I was down in women. The numbers was up, so let me keep down in women.
Yep.
Or on this show, I was down in black men. The numbers up. Let me keep down in black men. Or that's just what they do.
That's how they're able to get it. Because once you turn these cameras off, you going on about your life and you living your life. I like being around the older generation because they knew what it was about sticking together. They knew what it was about fight. My aunt, my granny, my moms, everybody had this big idea of how they wanted to be treated because of how they were raised. My granny raised my mom and my auntie to be upstanding women. So it wasn't going to be a walk in the park. You wasn't just going to treat them ladies any old kind of way. They had a certain standard for themselves. And my granny set that standard early. And as a father, when I think about relationships now, I think about the kind of man that I want to be coming up for my daughters. So it became a push. Like, look, I don't want my daughters to run into me growing up. So I changed my ways. I started doing different shit. Sometimes I could be a scumbag. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm one of those converted ass dudes. Like sometimes, yeah, I still have my little, yeah. I ain't listen. I don't be as wild as I used to be.
God ain't through with me yet. So
I'm reformed. I'm not out here cutting up and wilding out and fucking everybody woman and shit like the old days because I had no morals back in the day. I'm not even gonna lie. And I had good people around me. It's just their life wasn't my life. And I wanted to move the way I wanted to move. And I had good men around me to teach me the way of the world and things like that. But I still had to get out here and do things on my own. I still had to experience what it was to actually live. I wanted to live. And you can't throw your expectations off on me. I have to get out here and do what's best for me. So if I wanted to be, I ain't gonna lie, I had no respect for marriage when I was 27, 28, 29. I had no respect for it because of everything that I had seen growing up. Like, I had no respect for marriage. So I knew I was never gonna do it.
Majority of people don't have respect for marriage. Look at the stats. Look at the stats. People, we have fucking game shows where people are getting married at first sight. Married, Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiance. Like, we don't take marriage seriously. So it's
love after lockup, all type of shit.
It's not like, it's just not you. It's just people in general do not take marriage seriously. Like, it is a commitment. It is a partnership. You're building something with some people, with someone. And a lot of things, you know, people feel like, oh, I'm on my 4th, 5th marriage. Like, how can you get married 4 or 5 times? Like, it just don't make no sense to me.
That's just showing me that you just run off impulse, which is cool. If that's your life, that's your life. But my thing is, I feel like, man, if you're going to get married, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you understand the commitment that you are asking for. Don't just do it just because you don't want to be alone or just because they look good, they got money, they got their own house, y'all having great sex. Those are all great reasons, but ultimately you got to ask yourself, can you see yourself being with this person for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, don't do it. It's the best advice I can give you about that. Now, listen, Jerm, let me ask you, how do you think family values and traditions and things like that play a role in influences of perception, love, commitment, and life goals? Do you think that's plays a part?
It definitely plays a big part because you have some people that's more traditional. You have some people that's like more about their family. So it really doesn't matter how I feel. If my mama don't accept you, then we can't be together. Or every Christmas we go to my mama house, and you like, well, every Christmas I go to my mama house. And so now we gonna have to make a compromise. Well, we do Thanksgiving at your house, Christmas at my house, then we'll switch next year, flip flop. A lot of things go on. Like, some people are not with the compromise thing. Some people, and another thing, the worst thing of it all is when you get other people in your business, like family members, friends, anybody. Like, you should never, ever talk bad about your person in front of anybody, because that's all they can remember. Oh, he was talking bad about his wife, said she don't cook. Or I know, tell me that husband don't be fucking or something like that. Never talk bad, because that's all they can remember. If he cheated, either you're going to take it on the chin, you're going to have you somebody to talk to, your little confidant, but don't go run to your mom and your sister talk about your man cheating and shit, because now he going to always be that cheater. So it's certain things you have to do to protect your own relationship, to protect your peace, to protect your person. I ain't going to never talk bad about my wife to my mama, none of that shit, because it serves me no purpose, none at all. So a lot of people do that shit. That's where they mess up at.
Yeah, and the way that you're raised it plays a part in what your expectations are growing up. But at the end of the day, your decision is still yours. Who interests you? All these arranged weddings, and take the movie Coming to America, for instance. They had already picked who he was gonna be with, but he had his own mind frame. Like, she cool, but that ain't what I want. And sometimes you have to go against the grain because you are the one that's living that life. It's you. Your life is about you. You can't go off in life worrying about and pleasing other people, because at the end of the day, what is that gonna get you? Some people gonna live their lives and you are stuck being miserable, living a life that you had no intentions on doing it. So my advice, yes, get out there and live your life and make your own decisions. Will you always get it right? No. It's okay to seek advice. It's okay to listen and talk to people that's done it. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, what they did worked for them. Might not always work for you. I don't care. My family has seen me go through a lot of relationships, or what they perceived was a relationship. But I was the type, man, I was bringing different chicks to every holiday. You wasn't never finna. You wasn't never finna. And sometimes when that chick left, somebody else was pulling up. I had a whole science, like, if you came to more than one event with me, I liked you. But, and dealing with families who were snitches, oh, that ain't the same girl you had earlier. This is why I keep y'all out of my business and I keep y'all on over there, because y'all be snitching. And so sometimes it's best to keep your relationship intact, and you do it better when it's private. All right? When you ain't got everybody in your shit, because what can they say about you? How can they influence your relationship when they know nothing about it? See, the trick is the relationship is for the two people that's in it. We in this. It ain't got nothing to do with the outside world. So when everybody looking at these relationships, y'all remember when Jay-Z and Beyonce was goals, Will Smith and Jada was goals. Like, these were relationship goals. What happened?
The damn curtain got pulled back. We seen the real deal.
Yeah.
People's like, nah, I don't want to be like that. I'm cool. I'm cool over here. I'm not about the entanglement life.
Do you think social media affects relationships more nowadays than, because I know you said back then there was no social media, but it was always word of mouth. It was always gossip. It was all that always going on. So do you think social media, how big of an impact do you think social media plays in the way relationships are nowadays?
Well, I saw an infographic the other day talk about how people used to meet each other, and friends used to be like the number one way up. They had like how people met each other from 1930 up into 2024. And then like in 1997, 96, that's when the online aspect of it came. And so now you got to think about it. Everybody's posting everything they do. Everybody's doing it for the gram. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody likes getting likes. Everybody likes sharing their reels and everything. So you get this false sense of what a relationship is by just looking at social media, because we spend a lot of time on social media, and social media gives us these warped views of what we think real life is, when none of it's real. Like, this picture got a filter on it. That person really ain't there. This is not real. So it plays a big part, because people, it's pressure. Like, if your homegirl just posted her new picture of her big ring or her new house or her new purse, and she looking at you like, damn, my homegirl, man, doing this for her. She doing that for her. So now she feeling the pressure because she want to post shit too. She want to take the pictures with the matching pajamas, and she want to have the big, oh, when I do my gender reveal party, I want to have the balloon fly from a helicopter and drop. It's all kind of, social media has put unrealistic pressures on people to do things in a relationship, for a relationship. And I don't know how we get back from here. I really don't.
Listen, you see all these couples, they create these fake ass scenarios, everything for clickbait, everything for attention. And I just be looking like, you actually be going along with this shit? Like, as a partner, you think this shit is okay? Like, these real life couples get on here and do these dumbass skits and challenges and pranks. And I just be like, nah, it's certain shit that I find myself not able to do. I'm not able to do it because somebody gonna take that shit serious. And you got to understand that once you let somebody in your home, in your bedroom, in your life, in your relationship, you can't turn that off.
Okay.
You can't. It's already out there, and the influences is good. Like, I think about Cardi being Offset. She asked for herself to be laughed at because this man embarrassed her every day of the week, and she stayed. So now it's like, okay, now that you finally got the courage enough to leave, we don't feel. I know I didn't. I can't say the world didn't, but I didn't feel sorry for the situation because it's like, you knew this. You knew he was a cheater, and he knew he had you wrapped around his finger because you, every time you faked like you was gonna leave, you stayed. And then you got couples out here who create false ass narratives just for sympathy, just for attention, just to be on the front page or whatever. And I'm just like, I can't do that. I can't do that. It ain't make no sense. And then you see people like Rick Ross, they really hate each other. And they make that shit known every chance they get. It's too much. This is not influential for me. I need people around who actually love each other. That's who I'm trying to learn from. I'm trying to learn from the people who, yeah, we went through our things, we went through our downfalls, we went through our ups, but through it all, we still together. We still standing. We still fighting. We still believe in this. And not everything has to be put out there. I don't mind couples who get out here and share their love. I don't mind that shit. Like, share your love if that's what you're going to do. But everything ain't for everybody. Stop. Here's the thing, too. Stop taking advice. Stop giving advice to people who ain't going to listen to you. I'll say that. You only got 2 times to come to me about your relationship. And I give you solid advice. I mean, like, solid. Man, if you know they ain't right, let them go. And you be like, you know what? You right. Yeah, you right. And then next week I see y'all back together. You can't come back and ask me nothing.
Man,
don't ask
now,
me
bro.
shit.
We were just going through a little thing. We all right though, man. Man, you know how it be, bro. She I think she was on her period or something, man. She was just tripping, bro. But we good. We went out to eat and everything. We good, man.
Hey, listen, before you get out there and you announce that you're done, because I've done this, you announce that you're done, you announce that y'all not get back together, blah, blah, blah. Make sure that's actually the case. Because there have been plenty of times, even with myself, that I've seen couples announce that they're done. And then, you know, I start feeling sad inside. I feel that. Damn, I feel like I watched y'all on social media all these years. I was a part of this breakup too. I felt that shit. And then next week, y'all back together and shit. And it's like, nah, I'm not even invested in this shit no more. Like, you got me once. I don't really care about it now. But I think, like I said, influence yourself. Stop being stupid. Stop being stupid, man. Listen, and this is coming from a reformed, stupid lover. I used to be the stupid lover who didn't want to fight for love, didn't want to fight, but I felt like I was entitled to it, even though I didn't fight for it. But I felt like because you're married to me, or because we're in a relationship, or because we're together, I'm entitled to this. No, stop thinking like that. You can misinfluence yourself out of something really good. So stop doing that shit. Don't let your fucking ego influence everything that you could have. Swallow that shit, man. And this is about as calm of advice as I'm going to give you, because we living in a world right now where everybody is looking for the next viral thing. They're looking to be the next it factor. I never cared about being the next it factor. I just wanted to get my voice out here to the world, you know. My saying, and Jerm was here for this. You can't grow if you don't grow. So if you're not elevating, you're wasting time. I don't care how good your face is, or how pretty you are, or how thick you are, or, you know, how you can cook and all of that. I feel like I want you to be somebody that's good for me. I got a lot of kids, so I can play with them if need be. I don't want to play the stupid ass games that we was playing when we was 22, 23, 24. And if all you do is coming around me, you so negative. Jerm, how do you deal with negative people, man? Like, you know,
I don't deal with negative people. I only like when my friends call me with bad news all the time. I'd be like, hey, bro, if you gonna call me, every time you call me, it's something. Man, my car broke down. Man, I lost my job. Man, my dog died. Man, hey, you can't never call me with no good news, nigga. Like, tell me your kid ain't get an A on the test. Nigga, You ain't get out of a ticket. Like, I want some good news. Quit calling me with this negative, bad news all the time.
Yeah,
so
because what really the fuck I'm supposed to say?
Yeah, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, every time you call me, it's like depressing, nigga. I don't even want to answer your call, nigga. Like, because I know it's gonna be some bullshit. Oh, you remember my homeboy? Yeah, he died. You remember something? Oh, you know, the niggas was shit, bro. Like, no. I said, your life is too exciting, my nigga.
That scene in Life where he got that letter and they read the letter.
Yeah, what about my brother? Oh, well, yeah, he did too. Oh, well, good. No, he good. No, bad. He did.
No. Hey, listen, that's enough to drive a person off the edge. Like, I really don't want to hear about your bad news. Like, I'm here for you. I support you. But it's like, dude, I'm starting to think you bad luck. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, if all this stuff is happening to you,
stay away from me, nigga.
Yeah.
God ain't through with you, nigga. He coming back for the change, nigga. Like, you escaped something, nigga.
Hey, I believed in influences, man. Like I said, I had a brother and he kind of took the mantle after my brother passed. And he was like the influence for me. But he was a womanizer, though. I think that played a part in why I became the way I can. Because again, we seeing all these people have all these women have the cars and the money and the clothes and the crowd, everybody fucking with them. So you thinking like, yeah, damn, that's who we need to get like. Not necessarily be like, but we need to get like them. And then you start watching their ways and the way that they talk to women and the way that they act and these women that steady flocking to them. Growing up, I thought this shit was dope. I thought this shit was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be just like that. And for, I don't know, maybe about...
Okay, so what was the appeal? Just all the women that you just wanted to live that life also?
Yeah, because I watched him and he would have women coming in left and right. And you know what I'm saying? They be giving me money.
You ain't know how much of a headache all the women was.
Yeah, so I ain't know. Because the women be giving me money and treats and because I was a shorty. So
they want you to get out of the way so they can handle business. Yeah.
And so as I got older and I started realizing, man, these women are problems out here. Like it was easy back in them days. You get them a piece of puff and some fries and a pop, and they was happy, a square, and they was good. Nowadays, the level that you got to even talk to these women is hair done, nails done, feet done, cell phone bill paid.
Off rip.
Kids need a babysitter. You definitely got to pay for that babysitter. And you got to pay for a doggy bag to take home for them kids. Like, it's too much. It's too much. I wanted a wholesome woman because I had to think about it, though. I got 8 kids, dog. Like, I had this mind frame of, man, I got to take what I can get. Now it's like I don't have that mind frame no more. Your worst influence can be you sometimes because you can have that mind frame that you aren't good enough, that you aren't strong enough, that you aren't rich enough, that you don't have it all like these other dudes. And I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, if you are going to choose between me and the dude that can pay all your bills, I can't compete with that because I'm not doing that shit. So go ahead on, pick him, and y'all have at it because I'm not competing with that. I swear to you, listen, if these women be their favorite line, what you don't do, somebody else, okay, cool. I'm going to need you to go to him. If he doing all that, let him have it. He told paycheck, go ahead on and deal with him because I'm not doing it. It ain't going to happen. So sometimes, listen, sometimes the influence can tell you she ain't right. He ain't right. Sometimes you got to just stop, slow down, and listen. I said this before when mama used to tell us them ain't your friends, and then them friends do some bogus ass shit. Mama knew what the fuck she was talking about.
Boy, what they knew, what the hell they were talking about. Yeah.
You ever had that pop out to you where somebody told you something wasn't good for you and you still had to go test the waters and it fucked you up?
Yes, sir. She told me she's like the most shiftless friends of yours. And boy, I found out how shiftless they was when shit hit the fan, boy. Nigga left standing there holding the whole bag. I said, God damn. Woo.
And listen, I said it before, and I'm probably going to have an episode about this. You leave me holding the bag, you're going to hold your own weight. I'm not doing it. Straight up. I'm not doing it. So if that's what makes me cool and makes me in the crowd, I got to take the weight, take the blame, this, that, and this. I'm cool. I don't want no parts. I'm not having it. I'm different now because the influences I watch, people that's been in this. I have so much respect for you and Styles and a few other people that I know, Ringold and all these guys who have been married 10 plus years and can stick it through. I have a newfound respect for married people because back then I had no respect for it. And I think that's what's lost about nowadays in this era too. Nobody really respects the ring. They don't really care about that shit. That's the people that's wearing the rings and the people that's watching the people that's wearing the rings. They don't really care. So them are the type of people that you need to stay away from. I used to get my homies in trouble. Well, I ain't gonna say I was the single dude, but I was the dude that had a whole lot of women that didn't care about your relationship. You come hang out with me, we on the 2-man, we on the 3-man, goddamn it. I don't give a fuck about your relationship. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where women was like, nah, you can't hang out with him. Straight up. You can't hang out with him. Niggas would stop answering my phone calls. Hey man, I'm with my girl, man. I had to hit you back. Can't really talk. Shit like that because I was a bad influence. It was me. I was the bad influence. Like, I'm definitely the nigga that will tell you, hey man, listen, we finna pull up to these hoes' house where these females' houses real quick. And whatever it is, whatever happens here, stays here, all that other good shit. I was that dude. Like,
if it was only that simple.
Yeah, it was only that simple because these dudes get to be tender dicks, bro. They get to, man, I can't do this, man. My girl, I love her too much. It's just like,
it's called a conscience.
It's called being a tender dick for your woman. And don't worry, we're gonna have an episode about that too.
Oh no, listen, no. If you love a woman, if your woman doing right by you and you out here being a foul nigga, your conscience get to you, and that's when you start feeling bad. Like you like, damn, bro.
We ain't got time for that though. This is homie time right now. We ain't got time to hear about how much you love your girl, nigga. Look, it's a million of your girls out
I could be
here,
a wingman without fucking. I could be a wingman just to keep her tied up. I sit there and be showing the pictures of my kids in the phone and, hey, man, you see this meme right here? I keep her tied up long as I can. You better go in there and handle your business.
I ain't gonna lie. I done had plenty of females that come over to the house and bring their homies. And they standing outside, sitting on the couch while they homie getting, So that's got to be an odd-ass feeling to know your homie in here getting poked on, and you just sitting here like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that shit. Like, I was
getting the assist, bro. I'm just getting the assist, bro. I'm like helping my homie out. I don't need to score. He's scoring. I don't need to score the basket. I'm just here to cut off the interference.
I didn't want to hang with you if you wasn't on dirtbag activities with me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a changed person. The difference now is I'm rooting for you to have that love and find that one person and have that person that you want to build with and grow with. I'm rooting for you. If I see you out here bogus, doing your girl bogus, you can't hang with me. I'm different.
I don't believe that.
I'm going to tell you, go home to your lady. Go home to your lady and your kids, dog. Don't tell me about nothing because I'm not going to partake in that. I can partake in it, sort of, kind of, maybe. I don't know. I'll explain that later. But I think to see how much wrong I've done in my life, I just want to see people do right. So if you're around me and I know that your lady is a good lady and she good for you, and females too, if I know your dude is a good dude, don't try to call me and entice me to do extracurricular activities because he messing up. No, I don't want no parts of that. The reason being, I'm going to tell you the reason why. Hold on. The reason being is because once this is done and dude come bringing you flowers and telling you how much he love you, you're going to feel real bad. Because my job at that moment is to make you forget about him. I had a situation real quick before we wrap this up. Had a situation and I like this girl and I set her dude up. Now I knew the dude, me and him was cool. So I had one of these females I know come holler at the dude. And then I set up a text now number and I kind of was shifting messages to this dude playing it off or whatever. So then I ran into Shorty and I told her, I'm like, man, dude out here living foul, man. You know, I really wanted this woman. Dude out here living foul. You don't really need that. And just as she was about to give it to me, bro, this dude kept blowing her phone up. He kept blowing her phone up. He kept blowing her phone up. And she started to feel bad about it. Like, nah, It probably was just a mistake. He ain't really mean to do that and this and that, that and this. And I didn't get to hit it, bro. So I stopped
Moral
answering
of
her
the
calls
story.
and her texts because I felt like you led me on. Then I had to think about it. My conscience wasn't right. So I told her what I did. And she was like, you probably was this close to getting it if you hadn't even done all of that. You probably was this close to getting it. But the fact that you were so diabolical with what you did, that's the universe telling you that I made the right decision in not giving it to you. And I was like, okay. Fuck me
Moral of
up,
the
B,
story,
because
kid. Moral of the story, kids. Dirty Mackin doesn't work. They
and I just felt like, yo, it was my time, bro. But he kept calling. Okay, so yeah, I'll agree with that moral because I was gonna say the moral of the story is make sure you get her to turn her phone off. But we ain't gonna do that tonight. I just want to say, man, sometimes influencing the right influences can build your relationship the way you want it to go because you're listening to people who have been where you want. If I'm gonna listen to, someone, and if I'm a cheater, I'm gonna listen to somebody that has conquered cheating, and I'm gonna pick their brain on how they got through that. Don't ask me because I just started getting through that cheating is wrong, and no matter what, and whether you was
that
provoked to cheat or
mastered
what.
cheating. You said someone who mastered cheating.
Yeah, because it's a lot of people who cheated and didn't get caught.
Oh god.
It's a lot of people out here who cheated and didn't get caught. It's a lot of people who cheated openly and came up and confessed that shit and built from it. And I like to say they mastered it because they finally figured out that cheating is wrong. And it is wrong no matter how much provoking you are. But I think the best thing that I could tell you is as a reformed cheater, after you bust that nut, you won't feel the same. I could tell you that much. And this is a man who was out here cheating and crying at the same time. So yeah, being influential is different. Jerm. So let me ask you, right?
Okay.
What is the best advice before we wrap up out here and you can let everybody know where they can find you at in the process? What is the best advice of a piece of influence? How do you tell people the right people to be influenced by and who to watch and who to listen to? How did that work for you? What's some advice that you could give in that aspect?
All right, man, I'm gonna give you a little piece of advice, man. First piece of advice: marriage is not a death sentence. Don't think that your marriage is the end of you having fun. Don't think that just because you're getting married, that's the end of it. That's not the case. Marriage is not a death sentence. It's actually a beginning of something new. So don't listen to your divorced auntie. Don't listen to your divorced mama. Don't listen to none of your single friends. If they ain't been married, if they older than you and ain't been married long as you've been alive, don't listen to them. Like, they can't tell you shit. My family, my mama can't tell me nothing about marriage. I've been married longer than you, mama. So you can't tell me nothing. I'm just being. The only one that can speak on me is grandma and granddaddy, because it's grandma and granddaddy and then me and Queen Jerm. As long as tenured marriages. So all the rest of y'all niggas that's older than me, you can't say nothing. Unless you've been married as long as I've been married, you can't say nothing to me. And that's just the best advice I could give somebody. Keep these motherfuckers that don't have any experience at what you're doing out of your fucking business. I don't give a fuck. If you ain't never fixed a car, you can't tell me how to fix a car. Just being real with you.
Facts.
So that's my little piece of advice.
And please stop thinking with your ding-a-ling and your vagina. Bad influences all the way, okay? Sometimes you got to listen to your heart.
Self-control. Learn self-control. That's all it is. It's going to be penis and vagina out here in these streets all the time. If you don't have any self-control, you're going to fall victim to the penis and the vagina. So have some fucking self-control. It ain't nobody's fault. It's going to be women walking down the street butt-ass naked. You have to control yourself. You don't have to say nothing to that woman. Look at her. Take it all in. Imagine you fucking her. But once you goddamn cross that line and start spitting game at her, you fucked up. When you know you got somebody at home. So just learn self-control, people.
I had a wake-up call, man, and I stopped thinking with my private part because at the end of the day, I wanted to grow. I wanted to evaluate my life and get my life together. So I started hanging around the right people. I realized that I had did wrong so many years and that it was eventually time for me to grow up and get right because I'm raising young kings. You don't want to be out here thinking with your lower bodies, your lower part of your bodies, because that's how you end up with 8 kids and 5 baby mamas. It's not a good thing to do because kids are expensive.
I got 2 of them in college. Don't I know about it?
Expensive, right?
Yes.
So moral of the story is, man, surround yourself with positive people who are going to help you thrive, who want to see you win. I've had fallouts with people because I told them, man, you can't hang around me and not take care of your kids. I'm sorry. Go spend time with your kids. We'll be here. I ain't going nowhere. You know, hell, I'll bring my kids over and we can kick. Well, I take that back. I can't bring my kids over because my kids like fucking up TVs and shit, apparently. But listen, on the next episode of I'll Explain All This Later, I'm going to tell y'all how we going to do this. Y'all going to love this next one. We're going to talk about reconciliations, all right? We're going to talk about it because it's something that needs to be done. And I got a special guest in the building for that. I'm going to let too much get in the way of it, but we got something cooking over here. I think it's a long time in the coming. People been wanting what's about to happen. Jerm, let everybody know what you got going on, man. Let everybody know how you cooking. What's the word? What's going on with Pod and Saved Our Marriage?
Well, like you said, man, I do a podcast with my wife, Queen Jerm, called Pod and Saved Our Marriage, where we talk about various subjects. Sometimes we bring real life issues into the outline, but every week it's entertaining. We drop each and every Friday on any DSP that's out there. You can find us. Look for Pod and Saved Our Marriage. You can follow us on all social media. We're not on Blue Sky. Fuck Blue Sky. I'm not going to Blue Sky. So don't look for me over there. I'm only on Twitter. It's like the Twitter alternative. It's like the nice Twitter. Like, you know,
okay.
You
ain't gonna find me over there either.
Yeah. So on Twitter, Pod and Saved. On Instagram, Pod and Saved Not Marriage. We got a link tree there. You can find us, all the links that you need. So yeah, fuck with us, man. We out here.
Y'all know what it is with me, man. Listen, I have gotten away from the seasons, but periodically we're gonna take breaks to give y'all what it is that we do. I'm a different man over here. We reformed. I'm still gonna talk my shit, but I'm more civilized. I like giving y'all good advice.
Focus is the word I would rather use.
Focus. Yeah. All right. So listen, man. Shout out to King Jerm. Listen, what y'all don't know is King Jerm. He has the most episode of appearances with Big Smash. As far as collabs, he's like number 1. Y'all already ran into Dolly. Dolly was number 2. So I like to keep this thing that I've been doing with people that I respect, man. It's a lot of goats out here. We still the top of the mountain over here. But what I realized is it's a bunch of mountains that everybody can have their own mountain. It's not just my mountain. It's a bunch of mountains out here. One day, everybody will be big enough and strong enough to make a mountain of their own. But until then, this is my mountain. This is Sparta. This is war. We all that good stuff over here, and we just do it more focused. Until next time, good people. Jerm, you got any last words for the good people?
Hey, man, always, what's my motto? Don't let people make you bitter. Let people make you better. And that's it.
What the fuck kind of shit?
Don't let people make you bitter. Let people make you better. That's some real shit.
Okay. Stay out of dark alleys at night, fellas, ladies, whatever. Y'all already know what it is, man. We out.
Thanks for listening to I'll Explain All This Later. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us again next time for more outlandish takes on relationships and the dating life.